been in Hungary and Romania, now meeting with the anti-Soros forces within the democratically elected governments here. And they realize that Soros is a cancer, and that he seeks to subvert and overturn the democratically elected governments here through violence. He has spent a fortune planting his people within the government, not only the governments of Hungary and Romania, but let me be very clear, Alex. The U.S. embassies in Budapest and in Bucharest are both completely staffed by George Soros loyalists, people who are doing Soros's bidding.
And they've all got to be removed because they're infiltrators in our country, they're infiltrators in Europe, and they openly are behind the Arab Spring and the Islamic invasion. They have double-crossed us with the radical Muslims. This is high treason. And Hungary and others recognize it, and I salute them. Go ahead.
What's interesting here, of course, is that neither Hungary nor Romania has a substantial Muslim population. This is a real problem.
Because they got overrun about 100 times in the last 1,400 years and barely fought for their lives.
Exactly right. So what has happened here is he is struggling to subvert these democracies. He is definitely in league with the intelligence services here. The intelligence services in both governments are rogue operations, more in line with our CIA than they are with their own government.
They've been exploiting their people just like the deep state here.
Even worse, I think the surveillance, for example, I was briefed on surveillance in Romania today. Lord, half the people in this state are being spied on. Half the people in this country are under surveillance. It's chilling what Soros has in mind. He has to be stopped. These open society institutions that he has set up, which are fronts for terrorism and worse, need to be shut down. He needs to be apprehended, charged, tried, and jailed. That is the answer, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And again, folks, imagine being in Ukraine or Egypt and they overthrow the government and start blowing up the churches and murdering everybody. You know, in the case of the Arab Spring and in the case of what happened in Ukraine, I mean, this is psychotic behavior. And it's the arrogance of Soros. How has he gotten away with this for so long?
It's really extraordinary. Initially, in these in these Eastern European countries, he was viewed as a benefactor. It's extraordinary the number of people in government whose college educations he has paid for, not realizing that in return for their scholarships, they're preparing to give up their freedoms, that he plans a totalitarian state here. This guy is potentially worse than anything Adolf Hitler or Joseph Stalin ever even dreamed
Well, he
about.
said that in the 80s. He said, I believe I am the Messiah, but I didn't want to tell people that until I become the Messiah or they might lock me up. That's a quote. He believes he is the Messiah.
This guy is a common criminal who, as you know, beat his girlfriend in New York City very badly, but faced no charges as a common citizen would. It's just breathtaking, the extent to which he is seeking to undermine these governments, the extent to which he is...
Why doesn't the president really take the gloves off and criminally move against Soros right now?
Well, I believe that the president of Romania put that on the table when he met with the president last week. I believe that they are beginning to understand the grave threat that Soros poses, not only in the United States, but abroad. And why the president has not yet directed Jeff Sessions to move aggressively against George Soros is a mystery to me.
And by the way, this isn't a U.S. citizen issue. He's a multinational global crime kingpin. They should use the army on him and his cohorts. I'm serious. I mean, I would cheer the helicopters going in there. And, you know, that's just what Soros wants. We'll be right back.